So the OnePlus Pad is a brand new Android tablet that released for about $480. And a lot of you might wonder how good this tablet really is. You may also wonder how good the keyboard case is, and also how good the stylus is. Well, I've been testing them out for a few weeks now, and I'm here to give you a full review on them and let you know how good this tablet is, if it's worth buying, and if you should buy those extra accessories as well. So with all that being said, let's get right into it and let's talk about the OnePlus Pad. So the OnePlus Pad, when I heard about this tablet, I was really excited, but there were some letdowns. After all, this is not a high-end tablet like the Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra. There are going to be some compromises to get this tablet under $500. Now, I know Oxygen OS is something that's very controversial. I know they've made a lot of changes over the years, but honestly, it's really refreshing to me to see that on a tablet because I do feel like it's very similar to what Google does with their Google Pixel phones. So I really do like that UI. It looks really nice. It looks really clean. So there's so much to like about this tablet, but there are a few compromises we want to talk about, but I want to first start with the design of this tablet. If you look at this tablet, you will see they did not skimp on the design. It feels super premium. This aluminum on the back, it feels very nice, and I love this green color on this model. It does work with tempered glass screen protectors, by the way. You're not going to find a lot of them, but I did find one, and I will put a link in the description of this video. But if you look around on this tablet, one thing that you're going to see that's missing is a fingerprint sensor. And honestly, I was one of those people that said that's a deal breaker for me. I really need some type of good biometric authentication. But then I found Face Unlock, and I am not a person who likes Face Unlock on Android. It's not as secure as a fingerprint sensor, but I was pretty surprised at how fast this tablet would unlock. It's actually very good as long as you're in okay lighting conditions. Of course, if you're in the dark or a very low lighting environment, you're not going to get very good face unlock or face recognition. But outside of those environments, I was able to unlock my tablet very fast, so I was able to forgive the lack of a fingerprint sensor on this tablet, especially when I consider that the price is actually pretty reasonable for what you get. Now, if you look at this tablet, you will also see two speakers on each side of the tablet. You're going to see a USB-C port on this side, which is actually pretty nice, of course, but no headphone jack. But there is a slot for a keyboard, so you do have these 3 pins on the bottom of the tablet, and that will connect the OnePlus official keyboard. And on the top of the tablet, you have this little thing here that actually allows the pen to connect. So the pen and the keyboard do not come with this tablet. Maybe if you bought it for a pre-order, they were giving it away for free, but you do not get a free stylus. You are going to have to spend a little bit of money for that, and that is where this tablet starts to look a little less appealing as far as the price. So this tablet, again, it retails for $480, but if you do add the stylus in, you're going to add around $80 to $100 to that price. So if you factor that in, even if it's only $80 or you find it on sale, something like that, you're still going to be paying about $560 for this tablet. And the Galaxy Tab S8 has been on sale very frequently for around $550 to $600. So this is really competing very heavily with that Galaxy Tab S8. It's got a lot of similar features. So I will say, even though the price is very low, it's really good for those of you who don't need a stylus at all. But if you are someone who really wants a stylus, I think it's going to be a close call between this tablet and the Tab S8. And of course, I think it's going to be a preference thing. But if you don't need this stylus at all, great. This is going to be a terrific value for you at $480. And I will say OnePlus has ran a lot of sales on this tablet. They have had a sale where if you buy the OnePlus 11, for example, they were actually dropping the price of this tablet to $299. So for $300 or $350, if you find it for a sale like that, or under $400, this is going to be one of the best tablets you could buy because it does have that premium design. Face Unlock, again, works very well on this tablet. You have really nice speakers. They're not the best in the world, but they're still very good, and in my opinion, they're going to be right there with those Galaxy Tabs. And when you look at the screen, No, it is not an OLED screen, but it's also not a TFT screen either, like the Galaxy Tab S8. It's got a 2800 by 2000 resolution, it's an 11.61 inch screen, and when you look at this display, it's really nice as far as the quality. I love how it's a 120 Hz refresh rate. That's really nice, especially when you consider that the Google Pixel tablet coming out, that is not going to have a 120 Hz refresh rate. It's going to be a 60 Hz refresh rate. And if you don't really care about that is fine. I know the Google Pixel tablet will come with a speaker. That's going to be a really nice addition when that tablet does come out. But if you don't need a speaker, if you don't need a stylus, for example, this tablet is going to compete very heavily because the screen is very good. It's an IPS LCD display, and if you look at the colors, I do feel like they're very accurate. It won't be quite as good as something like the Tab S8 Plus or the Tab S8 Ultra, but it's still going to be very, very nice, and in my opinion, I would actually prefer this display over the Galaxy Tab S8. I do actually prefer how it looks and the colors. I like how it's ever so slightly bigger than the Tab S8 as well. So it's a really nice screen on this tablet, and if you go beyond the screen as well and go to performance, again, this tablet performs very well. It does come with 8 GB of RAM in the base model. It can go as high as 12 GB as well. And if you look at the performance of this MediaTek processor, it is phenomenal. I love how fast and smooth everything feels as far as the UI. Everything just feels so nice when I'm using this tablet. Everything does feel speedy. This tablet is also great for multitasking. When I was pulling up more than one app, I was very surprised at how good the OnePlus software was. It was actually really good with multiple applications. I was able to move apps back and forth whenever I was multitasking. So there is a lot to like about the software that OnePlus did provide. I was surprised at how polished it was, but it is still a little bit imperfect. There are some apps out there like Best Buy, for example, that only work in portrait mode. There are some apps even like Facebook that only work in portrait mode. And there are still things that Galaxy tablets do a little bit better, like optimizing those apps to work in landscape mode, because a lot of us are going to use our tablets like this, especially if you have the keyboard cover, right? So there are still some minor app issues that I really don't like, but outside of those things, this tablet was flying through everything I was doing. It's very, very fast. Again, it's very similar to a flagship tablet, a high-end tablet. This is going to be very similar in performance to the Galaxy Tab S8. So you're going to have similar performance to the Tab S8, you're going to have better battery life, and in my opinion, though it is a little bit subjective, I do think the screen is going to be better than the Galaxy Tab S8. So when you find this for $480 at a lower price, that's what makes it appealing, because it's honestly a better version of the Tab S8. And some of you, even if you want a stylus, this is a really good stylus. Now, yes, I understand they did copy some things from Apple. I am not a fan of the MKBHD review on this tablet, if you were actually watching that, because he really compared it to Apple. He compared it to the iPad. And honestly, I see very little resemblance in this tablet to the iPad. The only thing that I think is similar to the iPad is this pencil here. This is like a carbon copy of the Apple Pencil, and some of you are going to like that. Now, whenever I'm writing on the screen, it does feel like it's not super soft. It does feel like it's a little bit hard as far as writing on the screen. So that's one thing that I don't prefer as far as the tip of this pen. But outside of that, some of you might prefer that, and some of you want a little bit of a larger stylus. However, some of you may prefer that smaller stylus, or you may prefer a softer writing experience. You'll probably find that in the Galaxy Tab S8. But when I look at this tablet, I'm in love with this tablet for so many reasons. This tablet charges extremely fast. If you look at these extra features, no, it doesn't have a fingerprint sensor like the Tab S8, but this has a 67-watt charging speed according to GSM Arena, and in my experience, this is very, very fast as far as charging. It flies through charging. It also has a very large battery, again, bigger than most tablets at this price point. It doesn't come with the stylus. It gives you the option to buy it for a higher price, but for those of you who don't want it, you're not not forced to pay a premium just because it comes in the box. So I really like what OnePlus did. They gave you a premium design, they gave you a premium screen, not a perfect screen, but a very, very good screen. They gave you also very, very fast performance. They gave you the RAM with it. The only real thing I wish they would have included with this tablet is a fingerprint sensor, and some of you might prefer OLED. And outside of that, there's not really much else to prefer. Now, some of you might want the performance of a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor, especially if you're a gamer. This will not game as well as a Galaxy Tab S8. This will be a little bit worse at gaming than other flagship tablets. The Galaxy Tab S8, it does have a little bit of a better GPU, and of course the Galaxy Tab S9, that will be coming out shortly. I'm sure the GPU will be a little bit better in that tablet as well. But I am just thrilled that OnePlus is really attacking the Android market and really trying to make a good, affordable Android tablet. This is a very fast tablet with a very good screen. That's not great. It's not the best screen in the world, but it's still better in my opinion than the Tab S8, and it's still close to the Tab S8 Plus or the Tab S8 Ultra. So no, I don't think this is an iPad clone. I don't think they're trying to copy Apple. I don't think they're trying to woo all the iPad users and bring them over to Android. I don't think that's what's happening with this tablet. I really just think OnePlus tried to make a good Android tablet, and in my opinion, they did a phenomenal job. There's still some minor software quirks, but honestly, it's much better in my experience than I expected. It's much better than a lot of other Android tablet makers. It's better than Lenovo tablets, for example, and it's very similar to Samsung tablets. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about the keyboard case as well. So this does not come with the keyboard case. You're going to spend about $150 to get this keyboard case. And do I think it's worth it? Well, of course, it depends on the person. If you're someone who wants to travel light and you really want a portable keyboard on a tablet, I think it's worth getting. But realistically, I do not think that this is a great keyboard case. And of course, it's okay for Android tablets. There's not a lot of great keyboard cases out there. I think this will be very similar to something like a Galaxy Tab keyboard case, like the Galaxy Tab Slim keyboard case. I think the quality is very similar on this compared to that keyboard case for the Tab S8. There is enough spacing with the keys that I think it's okay, it's acceptable. I think the travel is okay on the keys. It just feels a little cheap. It does feel like a cheap plastic keyboard. Of course, they're trying to keep it very thin and lightweight so you could travel around with it. So you're not going to expect something ultra premium, but it's not going to be as good as the Apple Magic keyboard. It's not going to be as good as a Surface Pro keyboard. It's going to feel like cheap plastic keys. The trackpad is serviceable, but it's not that great in my opinion. And the one thing I really don't like about this keyboard case is the fact that it doesn't detach. So that means that if you're buying this with the keyboard case, that means you always want to use it with the keyboard case. And if you don't, you have to take it out of the keyboard case and then leave the tablet unprotected. It means you have no case, you have no way to set it up, there's no kickstand. So I really don't like how it's not detachable. That's another issue I have with the iPad keyboard case, is the fact that you have to leave it attached at all times, or you have to take it out, it's unprotected. Maybe you'll have to bring a separate case with you and exchange cases all the time. That is just way too much work in my opinion. I would rather have a detachable keyboard case, even if it's a little less sturdy on my lap. But I would recommend, honestly, just getting a separate keyboard, a Bluetooth keyboard that you could just bring with you, and just getting this cheaper leather case. Really, I love the leather case that actually OnePlus made for this tablet. It's really, really nice. And then you could just carry this with you, and then you could have a keyboard on the side. That's my preference, but this is still a good option if you really do want a keyboard case. So overall, this tablet is phenomenal, and I really, really enjoy it. And if you're comparing this on the market and you're saying, should I buy this? For $480, I think it's a very fair price for this tablet if you do not need a stylus. If you need a stylus with it, I think it's a very 50-50 shot between this and a Galaxy Tab S8. I think the Galaxy Tab S8 will have slightly better software support, and I do think the Galaxy Tab S8 overall, the software is a little bit better for tablets. But I think this does have a better screen, it does have a bigger battery and faster charging speeds, and it really just depends on which stylus experience you prefer. So it really is going to depend on what price you see the Tab S8 at and what price you see this at. But if you compare this to every other Android tablet, or maybe you're someone out there who doesn't need a stylus, this is going to be one of the best bargains on the market. If you need a speaker with your tablet, sure, the Google Pixel tablet might be a better option when it comes out. But if you don't need a speaker, this is going to be faster. It's going to have a very, very nice 120 hertz screen, which is better than the Pixel tablet. It's going to have a lot of great features on it. And again, I really like how you have an option for a pen. You have an option for a keyboard as well, which is really, really cool too. So do you think this tablet is worth buying? I absolutely recommend it to so many of you. I think it's one of the best Android tablets out, and it's so refreshing to see the competition. And because I got it for a good price, I honestly expect to keep this tablet around over every other tablet. But what do you think? Is this a good tablet? Is this something that you're looking forward to buying, or would you prefer another tablet? Let me know, and feel free to watch some other videos if you get some time. Check those links in the description. That is a huge way to help support my channel. So I hope you have a great day, and I hope you also enjoy your week.